7 News starts right now.
Tonight, we fight for his life.
Shot in the line of duty, a Denver police officer with a long night ahead.
Obviously, it's a tough time for everybody involved.
He's not the only victim of today's crime spree.
Start screaming. No, I don't want to do it.
A woman carjacked by the suspect. Tonight, she's talking only to Denver 7 about those terrifying moments.
I got really scared. I feel like I was going to die.
Police say this investigation is far from over.
Do we know what happened? Do we have any idea?
Tonight, Denver police are giving us a better idea of the timeline. It started with a traffic stop here at 37th and Federal, where Officer Tony Lopez Jr. was shot several times. It ended several miles away in downtown Denver with one arrest and an informed source within Denver police telling our investigators a second person was in custody, though tonight DPD is denying that. Tonight, Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is live showing us how a routine traffic stop went terribly wrong. Russell?
Eric, this is where it all started, 37th and Federal. Check this out, a bullet hole in the exterior wall of the CrossFit gym across the street from where the shooting happened. Witnesses say they heard as many as 12 shots fired, an officer gunned down in the line of duty.
Federal officer down.
A neighborhood under siege after an officer was shot at least 5 times.
Looks like we have an officer shot.
Jason Bryant lives right next door.
I was sitting at my desk working, heard probably about 10, 12 gunshots just out of the blue. It was really loud, just right outside the window.
He caught the immediate aftermath on cell phone video, including the badly injured officer being loaded into an ambulance.
Pretty distinguishable. You know, it's not like you can mistake something like that for fireworks or something when it's that close.
Once the officer was down, the driver took off, carjacking a new vehicle a few blocks away.
It's not actually a bank robbery. It was a carjacking of a vehicle that was in the drive-through.
That Toyota Corolla was eventually stopped at 20th and Chestnut, and one person was arrested. Moments before that, a man was caught on surveillance video at Aria Spa just a few blocks away. Witnesses say he got out of a similar Toyota Corolla.
Belligerent gentleman opened the door, walked right up to my reception desk and demanded that he go upstairs.
He left seconds later after not being allowed upstairs. Owner Nick Tverdik says investigators told him this is a possible suspect.
They said that from all descriptions that this is the shooter.
But late tonight, police saying they can't confirm a connection.
That individual does not appear to be injured. The person that we are calling a suspect, he was injured.
Police told us the driver was shot during an exchange of gunfire with Officer Tony Lopez Jr. right here at this intersection, but police have not yet talked to that officer, who is still recovering after several hours of surgery. We're live in Denver tonight. Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
We now know that after Officer Lopez was shot, the suspect carjacked a woman at a bank to get away. And only on Denver 7 tonight, that woman is telling our Jacqueline Allen her story. And Jacqueline, she was in the U.S. Bank drive-thru.
Yeah, she was filling out a deposit form here at U.S. Bank when she says someone all of a sudden got in her car, opened the door, got in with her. And tonight, police say that was the shooting suspect looking for a getaway car.
I'm really scared for myself, my family.
Sandra is too afraid to show her face because tonight she can ID a dangerous man. That's her Toyota Corolla, and she was behind the wheel when he got in. What did he say to you?
He was talking in English, and the only thing she understood was move it.
Looks like we have an officer shot.
Little did she know, a few blocks away, there was an officer down, police setting up a perimeter, and a suspect desperate for a way out.
He got on the car and he was trying to make me drive the car. I started screaming, no, I don't want to do it.
Sandra says that's when the man pushed her out of the car, her face slamming against the door, her leg stuck inside as he started to drive away. She never saw a weapon, but was afraid for her life.
I got really scared. I feel like I was going to die. It was horrible, really horrible.
Now she's shaken, but safe at home with her husband. Her car is in evidence, but her concern is the officer fighting for his life.
God bless him, and I'm really sorry for all this that happened.
And she says the workers in the bank here saw what was happening from the window and they quickly rushed out to help her. Now we know that police are also looking to see if there was any video of this carjacking from the bank surveillance cameras. Reporting live, Jacqueline Allen, Denver 7.
Glad she's okay tonight. All right, thanks, Jacqueline. And when we heard from Denver police a few hours ago, the spokesman said they are very concerned about their brother, still under close watch at the hospital tonight. Now, this entire day has been difficult for the entire department.
It's like a loved one. I mean, when you have someone that's injured or hurt, you care, you're concerned. So these officers are greatly concerned at this point in time. They're concerned for the officer, they're concerned for the community.
Tonight, Officer Tony Lopez Jr. is still not in the clear. He went through hours of surgery today with the entire police department, which includes his father, anxiously waiting for updates from doctors. Denver 7's Mark Stewart is live at Denver Health. And Mark, doctors say he is very lucky to be alive.
Eric, this really has been a day of touch and go. At one point, doctors were very frank with us, telling us that Officer Lopez almost died. They had to replace his entire blood supply. For the moment, he is stable, and they are giving a lot of credit to the paramedics who first responded to the scene. When Officer Tony Lopez Jr. arrived at Denver Health, he was in bad shape.
He lost so much blood, his heart almost stopped when he arrived.
Tonight, paramedics are receiving praise from the team inside the operating room.
Those paramedics that we see every day in the street are doing an amazing job. Those tourniquets clearly saved his life.
As Officer Lopez begins to heal,
it is absolutely heartbreaking that they're going through this right now.
Good thoughts are being extended to the family from across the city. Officer Lopez was named one of the best officers in 2014 for helping throw a birthday party for a 4-year-old girl in need. A second-generation Denver officer. His father is a commander downtown.
This situation is extremely personal for everyone down here. It reminds us all that we can never take for granted the commitment that these law enforcement officers have every day on the job.
The news from doctors concerning Officer Lopez is encouraging, but they're also stressing caution.
Tonight, we fight for his life. At this point, he looks stable, but sometimes things don't go as you expect.
These overnight hours are really seen as critical for Officer Lopez's recovery. His family will have to make some decisions about his long-term care, including the treatment of his leg. Live at Denver Health tonight, Mark Stewart, Denver 7.
In less than 2 weeks, 8 Colorado police officers have been shot in the line of duty. On Black Friday, Officer Garrett Swayze was shot and killed while responding to the Planned Parenthood active shooter in the Springs. 5 other officers were hit and survived. Then last week, a Denver SWAT officer, John Rudy, was shot while trying to arrest a dangerous suspect. And tonight, Officer Tony Lopez Jr. is just out of surgery, and we are all pulling for him. Our coverage of this shooting doesn't end here. We have a lot more right now on our website. Law enforcement agencies and leaders from across the state have been flooding social media, sending their best wishes to Officer Lopez. You can read those, look at our slideshow, and get the latest updates on thedenverchannel.com.
Very mild for December. The high today right around 60. Currently, we're at 42, which is about the normal high temperature for this time of the month. Very mild across the state with just high clouds, little if any precipitation here. But a powerful Pacific storm system is pounding Northern California, Washington, Oregon, all the way into Montana. That is heading our way, but it's going to take a couple of days. So clouds but dry tonight. A few more warm days ahead, but there is snow on the way by the weekend.
New at 10, terrifying moments for a woman in Boulder. She was raking her yard today when she says 2 men came up, took her inside her house, and tied her up all at gunpoint. They stole her wallet with cash inside. The descriptions of the suspects, pretty vague, except for the sweatshirt one of the men was wearing. It looked like this, black with the word asphalt across the front. Call police if you have any information. A bus driver accused of driving under the influence when she rolled over a bus while taking kids home is out of jail. And get this, she could drive a bus tomorrow if the district lets her. Today, a judge didn't deny her the right to get back behind the wheel. This even after police say she told them she took several prescription medications before yesterday's accident. She is being investigated for child abuse, vehicular assault, DUI, and careless driving. 5 students were injured in the crash last night. Tomorrow, we will hear straight from the Fremont County Sheriff about the sexting scandal at Canyon City High School. The entire investigation has been handed over to the district attorney, but so far, none of the students are facing charges. Hundreds of nude pictures of students were found on a photo-sharing app. Now, under Colorado law, all students involved could face child pornography charges. Tomorrow afternoon, the suspect in the mass shootings at the Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood will face a judge. Robert Deere will hear the charges against him for the standoff at the clinic less than 2 weeks ago. 3 people died in that shooting. And tonight, good news for some of the victims of that shooting. All 5 of the police officers and sheriff's deputies hurt are now home from the hospital. While they start their recovery at home, all have asked for their privacy at this time. It's life in prison for Harold Henthorn. He was officially sentenced today for pushing his wife off a cliff in Rocky Mountain National Park. Her family had a chance to talk to the man who killed Tony Henthorn.
I think that he does not have feeling. I don't think he has emotion. I think that he used his wives and his child as possessions, and he treats them as such.
The court battle is far from over for Henthorn. He could still face charges in the death of his first wife, and his lawyers in this case say they plan to appeal this conviction. The man who held a nurse hostage at Denver's VA hospital is now officially facing federal charges. Johnny Roth was at an appointment at the hospital last week when he held a nurse hostage with a knife. We spoke to his family, who said he has dementia and diabetes. Roth told them he was frustrated with the care he was getting at the hospital. Today, charges were filed against this East High School student. Police say the 19-year-old tried to rob and shoot another student last week that caused the school to go into lockdown. Samba Diem is facing attempted aggravated robbery, among other charges. He's accused of using a BB gun in the holdup. Tonight, our thoughts are with a Denver police officer shot during a traffic stop. Hear from his doctors about saving his life. And more problems for Chipotle tonight. As this location gets a deep cleaning, the new outbreak taking a bite out of its bottom line. And Donald Trump ruffling feathers with his comments about Muslims in America. Tonight, we are taking a look at how this may change up his chances come November.